Welcome, everyone. This is Karmic Dynasty. I am Joyous Ram. Today, oh my dear, I need y'all. Y'all with me. Y'all with me. I know this. Y'all gonna soon see what I'm talking about. I love y'all also. And today, I am here with James W. Officer the Third. The W is for William. All right. And here on Karmic Dynasty, I always share how I came about my topic for the day. Well, recently, I'm okay. There's a lot of this story. So, y'all know what? This is one exception to that rule. Y'all gonna watch the story unfold as it happens. Right now, I am welcoming James to the platform again to Karmic Dynasty. You've been here before. Of course, welcome again. It's an honor. You are here. Thank you for being here. How are you
Absolutely.
today?
Fantastic. My life is amazing for sure.
All the time. I know you all the time. Hold on, let me switch
Yeah,
this out.
it's a
Okay,
true
that's cool.
story. That's gonna always
Yes.
be my answer.
Oh, go ahead. Y'all know what? Today is different. Today is different. James, if you would introduce yourself to everyone.
Sure. Well, my name is James, and um, I I love. That would probably be the first way I would describe what I do is I love, and everything that I do comes from that. And so now, when I talk about what I do, I write. I'm a public speaker. I'm a trainer. I'm a coach, executive coach, and personal coach. So those are the things I do. But again, I really like to say that I am love. I truly believe that I am a reflection of God. All of us are, right? I just happen to really embrace that I'm in God's image and in His likeness, and I take that seriously. So that's my endeavor to move through time and space in that way. And I'm a huge believer that legacy is built one interaction at a time. Your legacy isn't established after you're dead. Your legacy is established with every relationship, with every conversation. And because I think that way and take it so seriously, it challenges me to be present and mindful. And so that is my contribution to the planet. Peace, brother Cody.
Peace, Cody. How you doing? Cody's a moderator around here on Karmic Dynasty. And speaking of Karmic Dynasty, I have a statement or two to make right now. Um, as I mentioned, today is different. Um, James asked me a question right before we came on, and I was on the spot. And I can't say I was on the spot because I know better. I've known James. How long? I've known you since 2018 ish. I think it's
You
been
guys has to go back
2021.
before that because I was doing
17.
business coaching like 15, 16. So
Okay, maybe
yeah,
2016.
yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. So this is what had happened. Um, I'm different today, y'all. I'm different. Jay's got me out here. He don't got. I got myself right here because I'm responsible because I know better. Because he taught me better. He taught me better. All right. So James again was my business coach, my initial business coach. I have Karmic Dynasty been referring everyone to SBA.gov for business free business counseling. And before the show, James, let's play this out again. James, ask me the question again.
Well, so I wanted to understand the impetus behind the show. I understand what the terms karmic dynasty mean, just in a definition standpoint, but I wanted to understand what that meant to you and how that relates to the purpose behind this show.
Okay, so when you say this show, you mean Karmic Dynasty being platform, not
Yes,
we're here
yes.
about your book, not me. But okay, it's about me. All right, let's go. So as I started to explain it to him backstage, I realized that this is what I call elevator pitch. I'm supposed to have my spiel together when somebody asks me, so I'm not looking like I'm looking right now. So this, what you see right here between me and him, is basically how our relationship started. Um, and of course, you read the book. James, how many books you had now? 4.
Actually, that's the third book.
This is the third one.
So yeah, so it's the third in the trilogy. So I'm moving, kind of changing direction now, but that's the third of the Grow Rich series.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Well, he's going to have at least 4.
Oh, for sure.
All right. For
At
sure. See
least.
that?
Yeah.
He knows. You got to know.
Yeah.
You got to know.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So, and I know with elevator pitches. So for those of you who are entrepreneurs, and it's not that you're going to be an entrepreneur, you are entrepreneur. Those are terms we use. You are. Elevator pitches are important. So y'all, we about to illustrate how this works. Okay. And I know James is like my positive space in myself. So every time I want to say a negative word, I pause because I know he's not gonna hear it. Okay, y'all, don't do the negative. All right, I'm going into my answer right now. What is Karmic Dynasty? What's the show about? And I already know now I'm gonna have to shorten this. But this is what we do. So initially my platform was called The Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty. And that came from some knowledge I had that contradicted the presented goal and mission of a social group I was in. And I decided that I needed to be a voice for the people. You know what, I would say that Karmic Dynasty Karmic Dynasty came about because for one, my mindfulness of the people. I tend to tune in and I could see them. I want to say struggles or issues, but I'm not using those words, and James is here. I'm using those words. So in the comments, like right now, Cody got, "Hey there, Empress, Joy Allen, Joyous Rom, Tish, and Nicole." Back when I started, people knew me from the comment section, and I went, okay, hold on. Back up. Okay, so initially I was like anti this group. We'll put it that way. Then I got my message out, and then I shut down my page because that's all I did. I only created a page to present a message for the people, and my message was complete, so I shut it down. But then I came across a platform, Crumb TV, for those that you don't know, and he had a invitation for people to come on his platform. So I accepted. So of course I had my handle, The Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty. So as people were in the chat chatting, we were initially, though, I was an audience member. So we're in the chat, people were chatting, and even when I became a guest, like James is here today, people were in the comments and they were typing out, you know how long it take to type out The Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty? And I just kept seeing the length. That's one reason why I have a short email address. All my email addresses are short for the most part because it takes time. And the time you take to type that stuff out, you'd be doing something else. So like my email is mkdtnt@gmail.com, not The Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty @gmail.com. That's too long. It's just short. It's sweet. And for me. So then I seen people abbreviating it. The memoirs. That's a good point you just made. Or they have a TMKD, and I knew they was talking to me. So I'm like, wow, maybe I should shorten my name, my broadcast name. And so that's how Karmic Dynasty came about. I shortened it. The memoirs at this point is implied because of the definition of memoir. I had enough video content. It's implied. These are my memoirs. The memoirs. So this platform is multifold. Is also for my. Is this basically is a video blog for my grandchildren, my great grandchildren, depending on how long technology lasts, and they can look back and see these videos. They get to see and know more knowledge and experiences than what I knew at their age. So my intention is by the time they get my age, they know everything I know now. So, but before they get my age, but the point is, the more I leave them, the less they have to relearn that I already knew. This is their inheritance. It's a library in here. So I have many topics in Karmic Dynasty, a lot of community points, so they get to see, even though sometimes I'm on here ranting, but as James, what you say before we started, the two that can't exist and they the enemies of human.
Well, enemies of each other, comfort and growth. Yeah. Diabolically opposed. They cannot be in the same space.
Yeah. And those two things we're going to experience. Because I was shifting and shuffling before the show, and James was in here with his comforting, kind words as always. And it was like the storm. What would you say about the storm? Or what was the term?
Oh no, I just said it's always bad before it gets better. Then it's bad.
Yeah, and I was
better, and then it's bad.
And I was like, it gets, yeah, exactly. He repeated it because I was like, well, yeah, it gets better, but then it rains and storms again and gets better again. And then it storms again and gets better again. So it's like,
absolutely.
But I'm working on my elevator pitch right now, y'all. This is what James does. He's
so
motivational speaker.
So here's what I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you a formula, then we can move on.
Let's go.
Here's a formula. Yep. Here's a formula for your elevator pitch. Tell me what. So what. Right? And how. Those three things. What you do, why, what you do, why it matters, right? What, so what, and I'm telling you that. and how. And how. Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all. My what is like, okay, so then
well, we could do that some other time, but I just wanted to throw that at you. That
yeah, because I'm like, did he ask me that? I should know that. But go ahead, let's move forward. Thank you, because I can cool down. I'm on the spot.
And I apologize. I don't want to.
But right quick, I did tell James. I said that's important because you were talking about the people that come in and out. They may come to watch me, but then they come back because of why I'm here. How'd you say that?
I think people show up for initially anywhere out of curiosity, but they come back a second time, and the third time, and the fourth time because they found value there. And it's very important for them to understand why they showed up, to be able to connect value to their time, right? Time is the most valuable commodity that exists, right, under the sun.
Commodity, yes.
Absolutely. So when you're thinking about where you're going to put your time, it has to be places where you understand why you're going there. So, yeah, I think every time you come on this platform, you tell people why they're here. They might have just showed up out of curiosity, but here's why you're really here.
Okay. So I'm definitely got my notes. I'm going to be recapping this video and taking more intense notes. I'm going to get my elevator pitch together. I'm going to present it on each and every show because you're right. My platform's growing. And people had told me that They're like, you need to represent the video you did 3 years ago. I'm like, why? I did that 3 years ago. You seen it. Y'all seen it. Like, you get new people in all the time. So I'm working on getting that all together. So we hear about James W. Officer the Third today, and we're going to hear more from him right now. Right quick, there is going to be a giveaway today of the book Shift and Grow Rich, Cause the Effect, not Cause and Effect. And so there's a Q&A. So far I have 2 questions from the conversation we've had up to this point, and I'm going to ask those questions sometime during the show. So stand by, and we have a few copies that's going to be given away today. I'm going to ask the question, you put the answer in, you need a mailing address or some manner. If I know you, I can hand deliver it to you, but this is how this going to go. Thank you, y'all. James, if you would, we have a few authors in here.
Okay.
Would you talk to us about your journey and let me see. What made you want to be an author? Why did it important to be an author, and how did you get your first book out and show the world you're an author?
Okay.
Elevator pitch.
So the first part is the longer part, because I talked about writing a book probably 15 years. I want to write a book. I want to write a book. And so 2017, well, let me back up a bit. So my reasons were always around me. I wanted to write a book because I wanted people to know me. I wanted notoriety. I wanted to sell books, right? I wanted to complement my speaking business and all those things. So all of the reasons that I wanted to write a book were frankly about me and about things I wanted to come from that, and me wanting my voice out, and me and me and me and me and me. And so for 15 years, me and myself and I talked about writing a book, but none ever got written. I went to a workshop, and I can tell you exactly when it was. It was August of 2016. And basically it was a book writing workshop. And as I was listening to the facilitator talk, I realized that I had been thinking wrong about writing. And the reason why I've been stuck for 15 years, because you're never going to get a book out of you if it's about you. It's got to be about something bigger than you. And so then I really reflected and searched my soul and asked myself, James, why is it that you want to write a book beyond this nonsense you've been clinging on to, right? So that you can push you and your agenda. And what it came down to, and interestingly, Joy, is what you said. What you said is what it came down for me. Number one, that one day my children would hear my voice, right? I have 4 children. The youngest is 22, so they're all grown now. But still, I'm still pops, and I do a lot of talking, and whatever, old man. And so one day, I'll be dead and gone, and they'll pick up those books and they'll finally hear my voice. So their inheritance. So that was one reason. The second reason is related to that, is that writing a book allows you to achieve immortality. I am reading books today that are 200 years old, right? 1,500 years old, Patanjali's. So that man's been dead for 1,600 years, something like that. But I'm reading his words today. And so when you write, you can live forever. So that was the why. That's what finally got me to do that. And that was 2016. I started that book. I finished it in 107 days, right? 15 years to talk about it. It's 107 days I had written the book. So that's that. And then, it just became so empowering to be able to share these ideas that I had developed and thought about over, many years, my entire career. And so the first book was Keep Calm and Grow Rich. The second book was Forgive and Grow Rich. And this last book, of course, is Shift and Grow Rich. And that's what I mean when I say this is the end of a trilogy. Now, to the question of how I did it, Again, and this is what every aspiring author does. I know it because I did it. It is the how do I get started? Do I just write? Do I need a title first? Do I need all those things? And that is the overthinking that occurs when we really overthink, when we really kind of think too much about actually writing a book. Here's what I did. Very, very simple formula. I had 10 ideas that I wanted to convey in that first book. Here are 10 ideas that I want to convey. Those 10 ideas became my chapter. The book was a 10-chapter book. And then I looked at those 10 chapters and I said, what are 10 points I want to make about each of these 10 points? And I wrote down what 10 points do I want to make about each of these 10 points. And then from there, I built an outline for each chapter. And then I start typing. So really the outline of the book was done first. And I backed myself into the outline that way. And I won't say there weren't changes and modifications as I went along, because it just happens when you get in the process. But once you have that outline in front of you, it's almost like it's easy once you've done that. That's the hard part, because I literally had the entire book written in my mind. And what I'm saying is, once I had 10 chapters outlined, now I just fill in the blanks. And that was a lot easier. And I took the pressure off. Where do I start? How do I begin? All that pressure went away, and I had fun with the first one. This last book, I started writing that book on March 19th last year, and I was finished by May 19th. So I finished that book in 60 days. And so it's just and it is the thank you who enjoyed the stories in the first book. Oh, sweet. Oh yeah, Karmic Dynasty. Sorry. So so anyway, so that's the why and that's the how, and I really like to share that, because what's important to me is to demystify the process. Like, I really believe anybody can be an author, and I don't mean an AI author, right? I mean, and that's cool too. That's the whole thing that's happening, and that's the trend, and get down how you get down. But I'm saying, you can do it, right? And it's not even about discipline. I'm sorry, it's not about skill, talent. It's about discipline. It's about discipline. Like, I'm going to write 1 hour a day. I'm going to write 2 hours a day. I'm going to write 30 minutes a day. I'm going to write 10 minutes a day, whatever it is. But if you, if you commit to here's how long I'm going to write, and you do that every single day, that turns into a chapter, which turns into 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters, which ultimately turns into a book. And we got really so inspired by this that I've also developed a publishing company. So my team has an editor, I have a graphic artist, I have a layout artist. So anybody who's listening, if you're really, really serious about it and you get your manuscript done, we can actually help you get it out. So, and because it's, a give back in a way to me, it's not going to cost you a lot of money. I am a believer that you make a life by what you get, a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give. And I've learned that I cannot outgive the creator. Can't do it. So there you have it. The name of the publishing company is called Dash Masters. Actually, that's the name of my company in general. And then the publishing company is just one of the functions.
Okay, I wanted to hear you say that. I like being in the audience. I was flashing back through my elevator pitch. I love being in the audience member. I just chat type. That's beautiful. Took me back. Oh, you know what? Oh, in the excitement and my nerves, I forgot something. Okay, I'm gonna do a start over, right? Kind of. We're gonna do a chapter. This is chapter 2 of this show. How about that? This is chapter 2. We moving forward. Now, I would like for everyone to look at James and say, "Do your thing, James." Do your thing, James. I meant to open with that.
That's from that video. Okay.
Yeah, in the video, and was that your TED Talk video?
That was walk the talk. Yeah.
Walk the talk.
That was where we were at that was the Historical Society. That was a good
Okay.
night. That was a good night.
Yeah. So that, as James mentioned, you watched the outro at the end of the video, or you watched it, you're rewatching it now, or you caught it, we're live. In the intro, James is speaking, and then you see the audience. So he had asked the audience after like the initial look at your neighbor,
kind of starting the conversation.
Feel like church.
Yeah, absolutely. And they were speaking to each other, giving each other affirmations. So then I asked them to affirm me, and they really, took to it. So that was cool.
Yeah. Let's hear. So speaking of do your thing, James, I heard everybody say it. Tell us about, because you're a business coach, and people, when writing a book, that's business. You have to market it. It'll have the illustrations. So some of us, when we have our illustrations, we're paying someone to do it. So they're contracting. You have contractors or employees to do that for you, and them getting together with you, Dash Masters, to publish their book. That's business. Talk Absolutely. To us about, give us your elevator pitch on becoming a business coach.
So the first thing is, why would you want to be a business coach? I mean, this is always so vital that you're able to answer very, very quickly why you want to do something and for who, right? And I'm beginning to believe that the who is more important than the why. So, why do you want to be a business coach? And once you determine why, who it is that you want to serve, then it becomes vital that you connect yourself with the resources that gives you the insights, the training, the understanding, the tools that's going to help you be a better business coach. But again, it starts with a desire and an understanding of why you want to do it, why you want to do a thing, and who it is that you want to serve. And I say it that way because the serendipities, the coincidences, like life kind of comes to you. The things you desire to do will come to you and approach you and apprehend you at the same rate and same velocity that you apprehend them. Right on, Cody. Appreciate it.
All right. So right now, we're going to do the first book giveaway. Okay, everybody, y'all ready? First question is, what are the three, James, okay. We all doing what James said. James doing his thing. So according to James, the 3 elements of an elevator pitch was the answer, y'all. So while y'all come with the answer, we're going to keep going. So James, are you going to be writing on another series, on another topic, how I say
that? No, series. So I didn't intend for this to be a series. Yeah, it just kind of worked out that way, that it ended up being a trilogy. I had one more grow rich, topic on my mind. And so I thought I would stop at 3. My next book, honestly, is going to be I already have a title for it. I already know what the cover is going to be. There's a picture, a photograph someone took a couple years ago of me kissing my father on the cheek. And this book is going to have, that's going to be the cover. This book is going to be my father's words. My father was really a phenomenal poet, but he never got his poems in the book. I got at him over and over and over about it, and he didn't do it. So now I'm going to do that and put his poems in the book. And the title of that book will be In My Father's Voice. So that's the very next book. Yeah, that's the very next book. So really, I'm not writing that. I will do some excerpts in between each poem, just show love that way. But really, this is an honor to my father. And so that's the next book for sure. And that'll happen before the end of this year. Typically, I put 3 years between each book. So I wrote in 2017, 2020, and 2023. But I'm going to put this one out because it's a tribute to him. And I want to have it ready to go at the first anniversary of his passing, which is October 20th.
Respect to your father, respect to you. That's honorable. That's honorable. I love that.
Thank you.
There's actually, you're welcome. There is actually someone watching today, I'm sure, and I just went through that conversation with them of you need to get your works in a book.
Yes, very
And
important.
so go ahead, please.
No, I just here's how I say that. Don't die with your music in you. Don't die with your music in you. Uh, get it out and get it chronicled, get it cataloged. You have to get it captured. Fortunately, at least I have pieces of paper to work from. That was my inheritance from him. That's all I wanted. Cars, house, trucks, keep all. I got plenty of that. I wanted his words, and I was blessed with that. So I'm going to turn that into something. But for the people listening, by all means, at least get it out your head. Because when you go, it goes with you. And of course, we don't know our hour, our time, So get it out.
Thank you, James. That's encouraging. Because we hadn't talked about this. So it's good to hear what you're sharing is confirmation to what I was sharing with this person. Just get it out. And earlier we were talking about just start writing and then it happens. It just goes. And there's not like a particular skill. You don't have to get a college degree to do it. You
Nah,
just start writing.
you have to have discipline. That's what you have to have.
Discipline.
That's it.
And dash masters.
Oh yeah, we'll get you. We'll get you out there. We'll get you out. We'll get you straight. But the idea that it's never too late until it's too late. So
Yeah.
you just do it. And again, discipline is way more important than talent. I'm just saying. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything above discipline because
Mm-hmm.
I know talented people who don't follow through. They don't work hard, and so they live beneath their privilege. I know gifted people, same way. So but nothing can stop a person who is willing to do the things every single day to be successful. Nothing can stop them.
Nothing.
Nope.
Okay. Book giveaway. Second question. Second question. And I got some messages coming through. Y'all supposed to be in the comment section, not in my phone. Dude, come on in the comment section. Like, I mean, I can't. Second question. What's the name of James's publishing company? I got that. That's the second question. The first question, I got you. So Mrs. Latina Jordan, we got you with the first. We got you with the first answer. So thank you. The participation is good in here. I appreciate y'all. It'd be good. Everybody, y'all go to the comment section. Why is y'all in my phone? Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. So now, James, this is like sounds like one of the questions you asked me. What are some of the elements that goes into naming a business and titling a book? Like mine, I remember when I first started, when I met you, my business was called Trade Designers.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, what's Trade Designers? I'm paraphrasing, but we like to hear from you more. You're the business coach and the man. You the man. Do your thing, James. But you was like, so, but I was like, well, it's XYZ. And you're like, that's the title. Don't say that. But could you share more with us about the titling and naming things?
Yeah, I think whether we're talking about a book or a business or whatever, I think you backward design your title, right? What you first want to understand is what is your product or service? Who do you want to serve? And how do you intend to serve them? And once you have those things clear, then you can kind of come up with what do you want to call it. Because when I say, like, for example, you know, and if you, I came up with the name of my company, Dash Masters, because my motivation and my inspiration is that everyone that I interact with, whether it's through training, coaching, speaking, or whatever, I want them to be able to master their dash, right? Whatever that, however long that is, right? If you get 30 years, 50 years, or 100, you need to be living at a mastery level if that's your desire. And so that's how I came up with the name of my company. Frankly, I was sitting at my grandmother's funeral in 2009, and I was listening to them go through her accolades, and I had no idea she had done all these things. And even into her 80s, she was still very active and busy. And she drove a white Durango on 22s with a booming system. I'm not making that up. And she was in her 80s. And so my big mama, she maxed out her dash. I really believe she didn't die because she was old. She didn't die because she was sick. She died because she was done. And that's my desire. When I'm done, I'm leaving, and I'm not leaving till I'm done. And so that's where Dash Masters came from. So every time I say that name of my consulting agency, it reminds me of why I'm doing it, who I'm doing it for, who inspired me. Even the cover of that book, if you notice, it shows the 4 seasons. I'm all about mastery of every season of your life. So I'm very connected to why I did what I did, and in terms of establishing this business. And I think for you, and when I say you, I mean the collective you when you have that level of connectivity to what you're doing and why you're doing it, then you put the name on it, right? So it was sitting there that I thought, that's what I'm gonna name my business. But I had already established what I wanted to do, who I wanted to do it for, and how I wanted to do it. And the name just came to me sitting literally at a sad time, right? To bury my big mama. So yeah, the name was last. Okay, go ahead. No, I just want to say when I asked you that question, I was like, man, what you trying to accomplish here? This name doesn't tell me that. You had a very powerful vision for developing people and giving them access to skills to make money right now. And man, that title didn't say that at all. And that's why I was pushing on you to change that.
Thank you. And I did. I listened to him. And y'all know me, y'all Karmic Dynasty, you know me, and you hear you knew you going to know me. I do a lot of pushback. My handle is busting up. It initially was all lies, but then I realized one day what I didn't bring, what I knew and didn't bring to the platform, that means I don't bust up all lies. So I forget right now what my handle is, honestly. But the point is, I give pushback. I like question everything. And James is one. He's hard. I don't want the word hard. It's hard for me to do the pushback and quit the Q&A with James. I swear he's so. You look at him. He's so. How you see him? I promise. I'm not with him 24 hours, but I promise. I want to say he's like this all the time. It don't matter since like 2016, and so that's 8 years. Is that my math?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really,
and it don't. The people grow, shift and grow. We shift and grow, rich, and causing the effect. It does not matter what time of day, what season. Speaking of the seasons, it does not matter. James has been always positive in his conversation with me. Positive.
Thank you for saying that.
You're welcome. It's real. And I'm gonna tell you, at first, it was irritating to me because I wasn't used to that. But I could feel, I knew, and I could see when we were in the meetings, and even on the phone, I could feel, see, hear all my observations on your positive and your intent is, as you're coming across today, to be helpful and considerate and for the people, which is what Karmic Dynasty is for. Over time, I stopped being so, well, my intent was to stop being so pushy. I wasn't as pushy with him as other people, but I was just like, you need to stop it. And I was in here, big mama in myself. You need to stop that, Tish. You need to stop that. And I probably, in the beginning, we met like once a month, I think, once a week. Excuse me, I don't recall. But over these 8-year period, I now probably talk to you what, and let um unless you're coming on a broadcast, you've been up here 3 times. Unless in like times like today, we've talked, like we chit chatted over the past few weeks, probably 8 times. But really, since like the 3rd year of knowing you, we might talk once a year
Yeah,
on
yeah,
average, something like that. And it's still like talking to him for the first time. And so my point is, with that minimal amount of contact, excuse me, between the one time a year talking and the one of the 3 books in the series and reading it, I'm like a third of the way through this book now. It has become a part of me to be positive. James has, what you call it, brushed off on me. What's some terms? You all know what I'm saying? That's how it's said.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you
No,
brushed
thank
off
you.
on
That's
me.
very, very kind to say and very affirming for me. And again, it is my mission. So if that's happening, then I'm living out my purpose. Thank you.
Yes, you are. From my perspective, outside living in, I don't know your purpose except the part that you just told me is your purpose. And I
Absolutely.
am a witness that yes, you are living that out.
Yeah. Yeah. My purpose is to give it all
So
away.
speaking
Yeah.
of, so now I'm gonna round this, huh?
I didn't say
Okay, so
anything.
I'm gonna round this out. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I'm not at home. I'm on a. I'm gonna check my sound, see where we at, because I'm hearing, seeing glitches and stuff.
I can hear you. You were
Okay,
frozen
so it looks like we're
momentarily, but
here.
you're good.
All right. What about right now?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, hold on. Okay, you hear me fine now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So I'm around this, bring it back around, because things as we know are like my logo, the infinity sign, it comes back around. So when you first started talking, telling us your elevator pitch for off being an author, you mentioned inheritance for your children.
Mm-hmm.
While you at the same time yourself, you are receiving your inheritance from your elders. So
Right.
your bloodline has that system already going, and you're a
Yeah.
part of that. And right now you're like the point in the middle. And then
Absolutely.
there was your big mama and your father before you and others, and this carrying on through
Absolutely.
you and to your children. That's beautiful. I'm seeing it. It just went right past me.
Absolutely. It is a beautiful thing. And honestly, it's not because all those relationships were so wonderful, right? It's not. And there are very few people in our community. When I say our, I mean the diaspora, right? Who have lovely stories about their families, right? There's very few Leave It to Beavers, right? Very few, or fathers knows best. So I will say it that way rather than saying anything disparaging about my father or anybody. I would just say it was what it was. However, the older you get and the longer you live, you realize that people do their best, whatever that is. They do their best. And now, as a father with grown children, and I'm hearing you did this and that, I'm like, well, the truth is, if I went back to do it all again with what I knew then, I would do the same thing because I did the best I knew how. And knowing what I know now, I would have done this, that, and that different. But I ain't apologizing because I did the best I knew how. You had the best version of me that was possible. So I'm saying all that to say, when you realize that all that's true for everybody in every generation, you find what is important in their life and in their contribution to the world and to you, and you cherish that. And for my father, it was his words. And for the first time, when I received all of his poetry, for the first time in my life, I felt his shoulders under me, right? We always talk about we stand on the shoulders of our ancestors, and we stand, and intellectually, I get that. I believe that. I won't never argue that. But you know, you don't always feel your ancestors under you. Well, for the first time, I literally felt my feet on my father's shoulders. And so, in that regard, I realized no matter how far I fall, how many times I fall, I will never be closer to the ground than 74 inches, right? I'm never going to fall shorter than he was. My father was 6'2". So, no matter how far I fall, I will always be at least 74 inches off the ground because I really believe I'm standing on that man's shoulders, not because he was perfect, but because he stood there.
Inspiring. Cody with this word, inspiration. I'm feeling it. This is I'm enjoying this visit with you here with us. Also you spoke on your Big Mama's contributions to the community.
Yeah.
And I know you have your own, of course, you're a business coach, you have your book that you have out for the people. In the intro, you're saying I shared that because to share a part of you that is community minded. Would you speak to us about some more of your community involvement activities and or
Yeah,
memberships or
I would love to do that. So I'm a co-founder of a not-for-profit called the Live Your Creed Foundation. Our four pillars are mental health, um, STEM, financial literacy, and community sustainability. So everything we're doing, we're trying to funnel money to those areas. I will say that we're just a year old. We'll be a year old in November, and where most of our time and resources have gone have been in the mental health space, and we don't apologize for that. You talk about underserved and underrepresented. I would say again, Black people in general, Black men off the chain in terms of the lack of connectivity in that mental health space, because we've been told it's not okay to feel. And so often we end up filling with a pistol, right? And so it goes deep. So yeah, so that's huge. We're pushing that agenda through the Live Your Creed Foundation. I'm also a member of a fraternity and do a lot of work through that. I'm a president of the chapter here in Indianapolis. Um, so that occupies some time, and doing some great work through that. Also in the mental health space, as well as in youth mentoring. So those are probably the two organizations that take that where I spend the most of my time, because it allows me to touch so many other organizations and people in the community. So and it's huge. Like I said before, and I'll say it always. You make a living by what you give, but you make a life. Make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give. And it's just no way. You cannot outpace. You can't outpace the giving, right? It's the law of reciprocity. And the more you give, the more you get to give. And that is dope. And I have come to believe that wholeheartedly. And so that's what we're doing.
hold on for me. Okay. I'm having to watch through YouTube because I'm glitching and stuff. So I may have some pauses because in the studio there's a 10-second delay till the people see it live. So
Understood.
I'm watching delays, but and actually in my phone I'm hearing it before I hear it in the studio, which is the total opposite of how this works. So um so I have another question. Of course, and I was headed to this question earlier and I get sidetracked a lot. So I had to look back when I recap the video and I'll see where I went sideways at. But when you're coaching and you talk to people, one of your questions, I'm sure I think I remember is, and this question is for you, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
No, that's a great question, and I appreciate that. And I can tell you exactly where I see myself. I see myself uh, with in a space where I'm giving away $1 million a year. Um, so that's what I see myself doing. And by saying that, that implies that I obviously would have far more than that to be able to give that away. But again, it is my absolute desire in the next decade to be able to give $1 million away, and not to one entity, but just in the space of that year. And again, in what I've been in the giving I've been able to do, and it's not reached 1 million for sure at this point. Again, it's incredibly rewarding, and not the people, not the reaction, not the right, because I normally give anonymously, but it's the feeling that comes from just giving. And so that is my 10-year plan. And the reason why I limited to that one thing, because all of the things that have to be in place for me to do that equal health, wealth, relationships, love, all those things have to be in place for me to be able to accomplish that. Also, it keeps my mind and heart in the space of giving rather than receiving. And that's the life I want to live. So I'm very strategic by saying that one thing is my goal, because I understand all of the things that have to occur to reach that goal. I understand that that is the trunk of my tree and that the leaves and branches are absolutely necessary for that to come to pass. Hope that made some sense.
Okay, you ready for me? Are we here? Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, hold on. Okay, good. There we go. Okay, so we're about to close out the show. Um, James, I'm gonna have James ask if you would close out today for me. With these technical issues, I don't want to glitch in my closing. Everyone, welcome again to Karmic Dynasty. I appreciate you viewing here today. Be sure to tap your notifications. Also, acknowledgments to Kepra Patel. We're streaming to his channel, to your audience, as well as the audience at Tribe Up 777999 on YouTube. I appreciate all of you viewers hearing the Karmic Dynasty out on the multi streaming platforms. James, if you would, in your closing, share with us a synopsis of your book.
Oh, sure. I will be very happy to. Quite simply, that change occurs in our life, whether we want it to or not. Change. Life is always shifting, and what I propose in this book is that you can either be a victim of shift, a victim of change, or you can be a conduit. You can be a catalyst to change. And so, again, most of us live our entire lives in cause and effect. This happens, so we do this. This happens, so we do this. And what I argue is that you can do this, so this happens, and do this, so this happens. So I present a very simple formula that is attention, meaning attention to your thoughts, feelings, motives, and emotions, plus intention, right? Um, Plus action equal shift. So again, it's all those things, but after those things, you need action, and that moves you to shift in your life. So one last example: someone goes to the doctor. The doctor says you need to lose 30 pounds, or you're gonna find yourself with diabetes. So the person goes loses 20 pounds, 30 pounds. But what if you have found the motivation just through introspection, intention, and action to lose the 30 pounds without having been pushed in the corner because of a negative report? So taking charge of your life and your outcomes rather than having to respond to the threats of life that occur. Choose where you want to go or settle for where you end up. That's the bottom line. Thank you.